Manic Monday, everybody. We are back, moving the chains. We're rocking. We're rolling. College football, we're almost done. Week one's in the books. Great weekend of college football. You got upset special. You got people man in the field. It's just awesome. I cannot wait. We got a lot to talk about today. Bill Belichick's on in about an hour. I can't wait to see that catastrophe happen. I'll give you guys my post-game reaction to that tomorrow, along with some other stuff. We got NFL stuff coming up. We got the NFL season and college in 1 week. Let's go! Hell yeah, brother! Let's go! And I want to give a shout out. I saw my girl Leah today at work. It was so much fun to see her. Always a good time. She's awesome. So, let's talk about the games. So, I want to touch on two games. I'm going to get to the South Carolina one I watched yesterday, but the Notre Dame one last night. I'm still rooting. Here come the Irish. They had a great game last night. I know it didn't end the way that I wanted to. They were a good football team. That was a Mario Cristobal-led operation last night. And listen, I've been critical of Mario. Last year, I covered a lot of their stuff. I did a lot of their games because of Cam Ward. He was my guy last year. And you watch this year, and listen, Cam Ward, they're just a different kind of operation. Now, Carson Beck is more methodical, and his IQ's off the charts. And I'm not saying Cam Ward was not up there ideal. I heard of Louis Riddick, who did a couple of their games. I trust Louis Riddick when it comes to that stuff. Very much respectable. He is talking about Carson Beck and Cam Ward. They're on the same wavelength in terms of IQ, VH. They got PH. They got physical horsepower, and you got MH, which is mental horsepower, how much you can retain information and do it on the fly and go. They're both excellent at that. Now, Cam Ward's more of a backyard, kind of sand-lotty kind of quarterback that can extend plays and do all that. Carson Beck's more in the pocket. He can make plays like I saw last night where he can kind of move and stuff. And, man, he got bailed out last night by a couple of those YOLO balls. Like, YOLO, yep, okay. And Miami has, my whole life, has had guys that can go fly. Philip Dorsett. Go back to Michael Irvin and Urban Fryer and those guys. Or Urban Fryer was Nebraska, excuse me. But those kind of body types at receiver, they had guys galore. And that's the one thing with Mario Cristobal. That guy can recruit as well as anybody in the country. And he did a really good job at Oregon. And his story's fascinating. He learned from Saban. He was going in the Secret Service, which is a fun fact that I didn't know about until I was on my walk tonight listening to my man, Johnny, the man Middlecoff. Love his podcast. Shout out to you, brother. Love it. Get a lot of my inspiration from you. But my point is, he took a lot of what he did with Saban, and he did a lot of what he learned. And listen, he did a really good job at Oregon, okay? But let's be honest. He didn't have to do a lot at Oregon. He's got Nike in his backyard, okay? One of the easiest jobs, I think, in the country in college football in terms of getting talent. You can get, it's good. Oregon's been good my whole life getting talent. And I will say this with Dan Lanning. Like, I'm not saying that Dan Lanning has not done an excellent job since Mario left, but his cupboard's pretty full, dude. I mean, he's got a lot of he's got 9 Ferraris in his garage, okay? And a lot of talent that Mario got to Oregon, and then Dan Lanning just had to kind of, So I do think that it did help that Mario kind of left the footprint to be great at Oregon, and now he's doing it at Miami, his alma mater, where he won a natty. He's done a great job. Now, I do not love sometimes the looseness that his team plays with. I don't love it. It's kind of Pete Carroll-ish, Mike Tomlin in the NFL. I've kind of always compared him to kind of like a James Franklin-y kind of vibe, kind of hard-ass, emotion, passion. You see his teams. I mean, they are physical. They are line of scrimmage, tough, rugged. I said this last year. The run game just pushed around Notre Dame last night when I was shocked. But, man, I was impressed. And listen, their defense, what a difference a year makes. Because last year, their offense could put up what they did last night, which is points, but they couldn't stop anybody. Now they got this coordinator. I don't know what his name is, but he's the coordinator from Minnesota who did a really good job last year. Got him down there in Miami with this defense. It looked really solid last night and did a lot of stuff that confused C.J. Carr last night, and I'll get to Notre Dame in a second. But he did a really good job last night, disguising coverages, seeing one thing and then shifting it to the other. Fantastic job. Excuse me. I will say this. Now, can Miami run the table? They could. Now, it's a great win. They got a long way to go. But watch out, because now a couple games now they got to go Florida State. Florida State could be back. Who knows? And we'll see with the other teams in that conference, because Clemson they're going to probably bounce back, and the ACC's kind of in a tight knit race. We'll see how Bill Belichick does an hour. I got my doubts, but we shall see. And then on the Notre Dame side, I've had a lot of time to think about it. I thought about it last night. It was gut-wrenching for me to watch, but they only lost by 3 points. Okay? They could have folded. They could have thrown the towel in at 24-7 at halftime. This team with Marcus Freeman is a real football team. They're going to grind. They're going to compete their ass off. He's got a lot of Jim Harbaugh, David Shaw vibes. Win on the line of scrimmage. They're never going to have the best, sexiest speed guys on the outside, but it's going to work. I've seen Harbaugh sometimes in the past where his run games has not worked. I go back to that 2012 with Kaepernick in New England and Foxborough in a rainstorm. Kaepernick was blow for blow with him. He can do it. It's not his ideal style, but they're always going to be kind of limited in that aspect. They're going to go to their tight ends. They're going to run the football with two backs. They're going to punish you in the run game until you can't stop it. They're going to run the ball down your throat 1988 style. But unlike Jim Harbaugh, they're willing to throw it a little bit. Last night they had 30 pass attempts, which I did not think they were going to have that in them. But they did last night. Now, that's going to kind of bite them sometimes, though, when you're trying to, when you're down 21-7, how are you able to kind of get that going again in terms of the run game? So, just to reiterate, Miami, great win. I really thought Mario Cristobal was going to pull a Mario Cristobal game and choke it. He did not. He hung on last night for dear life. Notre Dame, you're going to be okay. You have the right coach in place to make this thing work. And they're going to be right back in the national championship game picture. I do believe that. CJ Carr looked good last night. Just had some freshman, things that happen. Can't take a sack in that situation. They looked gas last night to me. But again, the difference to me is when you get these northern teams that go down to Miami that have never played in that heat, it's a different animal. Now, a lot of teams that I've seen have won in that environment. You could flip it, the reversal of it, where you got the warm weather team going to the cold. It's different. So, just to take away, Notre Dame's going to be fine, but this matters now. You got to start winning games. And they got a little bit of a bye week, then they got A&M. That's not going to be an easy out, because last year in that environment was tough out. But I think this time around, they'll get that done against A&M. And Miami, they look good. Carson Beck, I kind of, last year I know everybody scapegoated him at Georgia for all the crap that was happening. But I'm not jumping the gun on him. I still like him as a prospect. I don't know where he lands. Probably second round, maybe late first, but we shall see what happens. And the other game I wanted to touch on, because I watched my guy yesterday, Norris, big play. Sillers! Let's go. This kid yesterday, I'm telling you what, Louis Riddick was not wrong when I say this. He is a complete package. 6'3", 240, his body type. That's his comp. Reminds me of Dante Culpepper. I heard Daniel Jeremiah talk about that. I see a lot of it. Big plays. Listen, the 63% completion percentage, it was fine yesterday. Got to be in that better to 70%. Whenever I see these quarterbacks nowadays that aren't completing 70% of their passes, I go, what the fuck is wrong? What are we doing? Everything's a pew, little pew pass, and it counts as completion. So I never understand that. But I'll say this. Efficient yesterday, 12-19, 209. I wrote it down, a passing and a rushing touchdown. You see the guy's talent. And I'll tell you what, the more I watch him, the more I love this kid. The gamer, the toughness, the fight. He's got something in him. He didn't transfer out. He could have after he redshirted. He stayed, which I think Nick Saban has talked about. And with the problem with this NIL and transferring all the time, you don't get hardened. You don't get tough mentally. And I think this kid has it. South Carolina, listen, they are an absolute fun team to watch. Them in Tennessee yesterday, I came away going, whoa, they could make some noise in the SEC. I know it's crowded with LSU and Georgia and Bama. I'm pretty sure could get it turned around, but we shall see. And then you got Florida with DJ Lagway, which I cannot wait for that 13th. We got Florida, LSU, Nussmeier, and DJ Lagway the same night. Let's go. I can't wait. You guys know I'll be giving you my post-game reaction for that. But regardless, great game yesterday from South Carolina. That defense flew around yesterday. I love that Dylan Stewart kid, number 6. Looks like the long list of guys that have come from South Carolina for the Gamecocks have just been terrorizing quarterbacks. I don't love the gun thing they did last year on Jackson Dart. Little childish, little stupid. considering, the gun-related stuff we have going on in this country. Don't love that. But other than that, this kid, I'm telling you, there's one guy every year that I am locked in and sold on, and this kid's it this year. I was sold on Will Levis, and that bit me in the ass, but that was more Will Levis being Will Levis, him being full of himself and all that. Michael Penix 2 years ago, Cam Ward last year. This kid's my guy this year. I'm telling you right now, this kid is going to be a first-round pick. I heard Dan Orlovsky, who sometimes I disagree with, but he made a point, Big Ben with speed. I don't know if I'm going to go that far. Big Ben was like 6'6", 260, it felt like. This kid's in that Dante Culpepper kind of vibe. Big, thick, can take the heat. He can spin off dudes. I mean, he's a freak of nature, freakish athlete. I got to see him play better within passing-wise, but this kid's the real deal. So, hope you guys are doing well. Stay tuned throughout the week. We got NFL coming up. We got college football coming up. Hope you guys are doing well. Adios. Godspeed. Stay tuned.